Tak, to by mohlo jít. Peníze. Tak, tam mám mít. No, to je takový typ, to myslím. Tím to končilo, jo. Tudy? Tudy?
Monsieur Brooke is waiting for you in front of room 203.
Dobře. Ještě 5. To je. Dobrý den. A? Aj. A to tlačítko. Právě když to stavící. Dobrá.
Ah, my good friend. Come in. We had need of you.
What has occurred?
A passenger lies dead in his bed. Stabbed.
A passenger?
No.
Which
no.
passenger?
In there. He's an American. A man called Ratchet. It was his valet, Masterman, who was worried that Mr. Ratchet was not awake yet. Pierre Michel, the conductor, decided to break in and found the body.
I see. Well, my friend, I think it is best not to touch anything and wait for the police to arrive.
Oh, I tried to call the police, but there is no cell tower for many kilometers. We could be stuck in the snow for hours. The murderer is with us. On the train, now! The sooner we catch him, the sooner we'll be out of danger. The Dr. Constantine is already examining the body.
Mon ami, this is not a missing train ticket. We must follow procedure. We must wait for the police to secure the crime scene.
Please, Poirot. I will take full responsibility.
Book, you ask. Well, if we cannot contact the outside world, then... Oh, you are going to drive me crazy. In truth, this problem intrigues me. I was reflecting not half an hour ago that many hours of boredom lay ahead whilst we are stuck here. And now, a problem lies ready to my hand.
You accept then?
C'est entendu. You place the matter in my hands.
Dobře. No. Dobrá. Co dělám? No, říkám.
Mr. Poirot, I am Dr. Constantine.
Forgive me, Doctor. You are a medical examiner?
No, but I have assisted in postmortems at Nairobi Hospital, where I am a teaching fellow.
I am familiar with your excellent institution.
I do not intend to perform a full autopsy, but a preliminary examination should be of some use.
Of course. May I have a look? Then we can compare notes.
Please, if you need any help, I won't be far away.
Probably. That's not videos.
No, not good.
No.
That was easy.
Huh?
Where can the killer have gone?
Mohl? Tak něco nás věcí celkem, jo?
The snow is falling only lightly this morning. The murderer would have left tracks in the snow if he had jumped out the window. This door communicates with compartment 204. The latch is open on this side. expensive clothing, recently laundered. Not exactly the reading material one would expect of a man like Richard.
Nic? No dobrze, no.
Box of sleeping pills. I'll take photos. I wonder what could be in this photo. I wonder what could be in this.
Tak to dostaneme fotografii. Zavřete tedy zrcadlo. To bude pěkné. Tak to neudělám.
I wonder what could be in this photo.
Aha, je takhle. Řekl, že bude tady. Řekl, že bude tady. Nadár, čauko, co? Jsi tady? No, sedí. Ježiš, ty takto? Dobré ránko, ahoj. Čauko. To bylo určitě tady. To by sedělo. Bude sedět. Vypadá, že tež. A?
For Daisy.
Zajímavé.
Et voilà.
No dobře, co teď? Ale mám otevřít ten trezor. Co je důležité informace? Jasné. No dál. Prášky už jsem viděl. To je odejít, nebo co to je?
I shouldn't leave until
Jo,
I
to
have
odejít,
finished
tak nic.
inspecting the crime. The chain lock is broken. Monsieur Michel told me that he broke the chain on the door to get into the room.
To šťáve. Co to šťáve? To je Poirot. Ale nevím teď nějak, co tady mám dělat. Dal pryč. Toto je jeho víc, toto je jeho víc. Vítř. Teď. Dobře, že jednu věc vím. Počkej, zapadkové otevře. Co dostal z policie dveře, protože byly zajištěny. Jasné. Tak nevím, doufám, že se dostane přistající okraj. Ještě ho dojet. Čít závěr.
So, the murderer must have exited through Madame Hubbard's room.
My little grey cells did not let me down.
Dobré. Jednu věc už vím. Co ti utěku, co to je?
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
No vidíš to. Já to už vím. Co mám ještě zeptat toho týpka? Co ještě mám otevřít ten trezor? Teprve 6 ze 17, tož to tam ještě je.
The watch is broken, the hands are stopped at 1:15 a.m. One would expect that to be the time when the attack occurred.
Okay.
As you see, the victim has been stabbed many times.
No.
Several alone would have been fatal.
Yes, I agree. An attack most savage.
I will, of course, prepare a complete report on my findings.
Thank you. I'll take photos.
To má pistol.
Last night, Monsieur Ratchet said he takes precautions. I see now what he meant. He knew he was in danger and wanted to be ready. Yet it was no use to him. I will leave it here for the police. This phone was deliberately smashed.
No, rozbil.
This phone was deliberate. I'm sure I will find some interesting things inside. I'm sure I will find some interesting things. Did it belong to Ratchet? A handkerchief. There's a letter H embroidered on it.
Bravo. To je zimou nebo strachy? Tak, co tady mám? Kůží. Ještě může být.
I assume the open window complicates matters.
Indeed. Conditions are not perfect.
Okay.
What can you tell me about the victim?
He died from multiple stab wounds of varying angles and depth. More than one would have been fatal. I would place the time of death roughly between midnight and 2 a.m. With more time, I hope I can be more precise.
Did you touch anything in here this morning?
I checked for a pulse. There was none. Rigor mortis had commenced. The body was cool to the touch. I touched nothing else.
Did you know the victim?
Not at all.
Yes,
I noticed him last night at dinner, but I did not pay much attention.
I'm sorry, Doctor, but I must question you.
Of course. I must be considered under suspicion like everyone else.
May I know your movements last night?
I share compartment 101 with Mr. Booth. He would not stop talking about his beloved train. I listened to him for hours talking about his Orient Express.
My friend Book will no doubt confirm this. Thank you for your help, Doctor.
Měl otevřít ten trezor, ale jak se to dělá? Tady je nápověda. Pochopil, ale... Které zůstaly v lese? Schválně se podívám. Ty klíčky zůstaly v lese. Deset, takže 10 jich utrhla. Najednou se když se proměnila motiv, ostatní protiv, dvakrát víc než předtím, to je 20. Zbývá. Vychází 20, tak já jsem nějaký, určitě jak málo nanesl. Nebude ono. Teď ne. Teď se nestřílá. Je s 1000 květin, aha. Takhle to je. 1000 květin, 10 jich utrhla. 1990. Skyci se vyměnila motivy.
Not
2010.
exactly the reading material one would...
Ne? Teď se nestřílá, teď ne. Dvakrát víc. Jo, nevím. Tak to smaže. Tak nevím. Asi neumím počítat. Této hádanky. Procházela se spolu s 1000 květin. Utrhali 10 a vysudila 5000. No. 1010. Jeby? Nevím, že dělal to myslel, no? Taky ne? Ale já nevím. Maria tam ne. Tady čům. Tisíc minus 10 je 990. No se proměnil motiv ostatních většin. Na zemi se začne. Aha. Baby. No dobrá, no. Takže to asi lépe čistý úlohy. Prachy. Berem.
Not very surprising.
Zabaví, říct, že tam nic nebylo.
A meeting place on the back of a postcard. Someone with the initials A.W.
AW, jo? A kdo to je? No, já nevím. Kdy to je 18. A teď je?
Ratchet had an appointment he will never keep.
Že?
Ratchet had an appointment.
Dobře, to chápu. Já jsem na teď. Co to zavřít? Co je tady?
Unusual letter, this.
Nerozumím. Jakože to raněnou osobou trpíte jednu újmu. Jsme blízko, my nezapomínáme. Má poznámka. Rekapitulace, ale. No vše. Plenice a prášky vytipoval. Prášky na spaní, dobré. To bylo střelu.
I must admit I'm not right this time.
Hm?
I do not think that's the right answer.
Co se vzal prášek na spaní? Ano. Čauko, Danka, ahoj. Jak se máš?
I can't imagine Ratchet taking a sleeping pill if he feared for his life.
To mi někdo dal.
Et voilà.
Takže takhle. Já celkem v pohodě. Dneska, myslím, v 11 vyjíždím. Jedu pro švagrovou s dětskama. A pak se uvidí. Teď tak nějak odpočívám ještě. Až v pondělí mám po obědnu. Pracuji pro Ratcheta. Aha. Můžeme tenhle. To nevím. Trefil jsem se.
That's the right answer.
Vyslechněte koleníka, vyslechněte tajemníka. Aha. Jo, díky, čau. Nejsou rád, že jste tu. Odpočíváte? Nebo už lítáte s malou teda?
I think I've seen everything I need at the moment. I am counting on you to finish your analysis.
I'll have a more detailed report for you as soon as I can.
Hm?
So, Poirot, did you find anything out?
It's a bit early for the
Super,
handfuls, my friend.
dobrou chuť.
Even for Hercule Poirot. Do not worry, mon ami. I believe our culprit has no plans to strike again. Monsieur Ratchet was the target. Of that I am convinced.
Dobře. Není vůbec zač.
Tell me, Book, how did you spend last night?
This is a joke, I hope. Don't you trust your old friend?
My friend, calm yourself. I must hear your story in order to corroborate other accounts.
Ah, naturally. Let me see. I went to my compartment after dinner. Dr. Constantine was already there. We talked about his career. He's a Cambridge man, you know. After university, he returned to his country and has done much good there. He was so interested in the Orient Express. I told him all the anecdotes I know. I'm not certain when we fell asleep, but it was very late.
Here is what I have found out. Monsieur Ratchet was stabbed many times. I also found threatening letters in his safe. He had a loaded gun under his pillow, so he was on guard, ready to defend himself. However, there was an empty glass with white residue at the bottom. I suspect a barbiturate. Perhaps he was forced to take it. In any case, I am certain he was unconscious, unable to defend himself. I also found several other items at the crime scene, possibly related to the murder. They must be investigated.
By all means, Poirot. As fast as you can.
I also found liquid for an electronic cigarette, but I could not find a vape. This might belong to the murderer.
This criminal is an amateur.
I need
to
a
mi fa
list of
schválně.
passengers with their compartment numbers.
Pierre Michel will have it.
I must interview the rest of the passengers and the staff.
I'll be in the bar car if you need me. We are hours late. Soon I hope help will arrive.
Já taky. Seznam cestujících. Aha, tady. Mitchell. Tady je pan Mitchell. To nevím. Myslím, kdo.
Monsieur Michel, I must
Yeah,
ask
Michel.
you a few questions if you don't mind.
I will do everything I can to help.
First of all, tell me about yourself.
Very well. My name, as you know, is Pierre Michel. I am
Yeah.
from Calais. I've been with the company for over 15 years.
Thank you.
Ne? 15 let, no víc. No,
I'm right again. That happens to me a lot.
u mě zas tak ne.
Can you provide me with a listing of the passengers and their rooms, please?
Yes, certainly.
Hej, McQueen. Čemu je z jedna, dvě. Aha. To si určitě nezapamatuju.
Are you a smoker?
Indeed.
Do you smoke e-cigarettes?
No. Tobacco only.
I would like to reconstruct with your help the events of last night. Monsieur Ratchet retired to bed. When?
Almost immediately after dinner, sir. Actually, before we left Belgrade.
Did anybody go into his compartment after that?
His valet, monsieur. Monsieur Masterman. And then his secretary, the young American gentleman. Monsieur McQueen.
And that is the last time you saw or heard of him?
No, monsieur. You forget that Monsieur Ratchet rang his bell around 12:40 a.m., soon after we had stopped. I knocked at the door, but he called out in French, "Ce n'est rien, je me suis trompé." I then left to answer another bell that had just rung.
Where were you at
No.
1:15 a.m.?
I was sitting on my little seat at the end of the car, facing up the corridor.
Are you sure?
I left a little after 1 a.m. to speak about the snow with my colleague Jean in the bar car. I came back later. There was a call. I remember speaking to you.
Indeed, I remember. Carry on.
It was the American lady, Madame Hobart. She thought she saw a man in her compartment. Then, around 1:50 a.m., I made the bed for Monsieur Ratchet's secretary, Monsieur McQueen. He had spent the evening talking with the English Captain Arbuthnot. At 2 a.m., I returned to my place and stayed there until dawn.
What is the last station where we stopped?
Winkowski.
Could someone have come on board?
Possibly. I was very busy. Owing to the weather, we were a few minutes late. We left at 12:10 a.m.
Co? Czy to ještě nějaké dvojité VS? Listovat? Aha, to takhle. Dobré, takže zase nic nevím. Tak to je. Aha. Aha. Ty kokso, jsem zdrafil poprvé.
Et
Dobře.
voilà.
No dobrá. Tak jo. Vrah schovaný na záchodě. Ha, není tu. Já se sem. Můžu to vám povykládat? Myslím to ne? To jsem chtěl kecat.
do me the courtesy of leaving me alone, if you will.
Počkej, ne?
So, Poirot, I hope you are progressing in your
Určitě.
investigation.
I
No,
have
vždycky.
not finished yet, but it is progressing, yes. I still have many questions that must be answered. I'll report to you as soon as I can.
I'm sorry. There's nothing I can add to what I've already told you.
On se hajzliku? Ne, není tu. Není tu. Tady? Není nikdo. Že jak mám vyšetřovat, když se všichni schovávají? Jsou ti? Plac, ne? Skoro se nedostanu, no dobrá. Že on vlastně budu se chodit od kupe ke kupe. To se mi nechce. No, to je něco.
The Orient Express bar is certainly well stocked.
Dobrá. Takže nic důležitého. Janko?
Beautiful piano, what a luxury. Pity there's no one to play it.
Teď si budou se fakt chodit po těch kupě. Od kupě ke kupě. Řekl, že to mám vyslechnout? Jsem to zapomněl. Pana Mitchella, Barovou. Komorníka a tajemníka. Která je ta Ubarová, už jsem zapomněl. Počkej, že já vlastně tu nápovědu tady. Já mám ty postavy, tady. Kupé 105 neznáme. Ne. Jo, to je. P204. Jo, 201. Počkej, to nechci, chci to auto. 103, 102. Tady je 103. Dobře. Ten je? A je teda 204. 205, 204. Před.
Good morning, madam. I am Hercule Poirot.
Caroline Hubbard. What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
I am the bearer of unfortunate news.
It's obvious with all the commotion that something has happened.
Madame Hubbard, I am afraid your neighbor, Monsieur Ratchet, was murdered last night.
Oh my God. I knew it. I knew it.
I would like to ask you some questions, but first, may I inspect your room?
Of course, yes, you must.
Co já vím. Ty koksu.
That was easy.
Jo, dobře.
This door connects to Monsieur Ratchet's compartment. It was latched on this side. The luxury of the Orient Express is present in every detail.
Samé? Jo.
Here is a
Lovely
jacket
check.
button. It bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Ještě něco tady je. Ne? Ne,
Another golden mustache to treasure.
úžasné. Co má nechtěl. Co to je? Není nic, co bych mohl zmáčknout? Jsem se díval.
Are you a smoker?
No, definitely not. Filthy habit.
I found a jacket button on your table. It looks like it belongs to a train employee. The button bears the logo of the Orient Express.
Well, of course the conductor came in last night, but he didn't go near that table.
Still, it's a safe bet that it belongs to the conductor. I'll check his jacket later, to be sure. Is this your handkerchief?
No, not at all.
Yet it is embroidered with an initial H, like your name.
I don't care. It's not mine, and I would certainly never buy something so impractical as that frilly thing.
How is it you didn't bolt the door between the two compartments?
But I had. Well, as a matter of fact, I asked that Swedish lady, Olsen, Greta, if it was bolted, and she said it was.
How was it you could not see for yourself?
I was already in bed, and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was.
What time was it when you asked her to do this for you?
Oh, it must have been around 10:30 or 10:45 p.m. She'd come along to see if I had an aspirin. But instead of opening my door, she opened Mr. Ratchet's door by mistake. He said something quite rude, like, "Not a chance, lady, you're too old." It shocked her. She came in. I told her where to find the aspirin, and she got it out of my toiletry bag. Poor girl, she didn't have a good night.
The same could be said for Monsieur Ratchet. It appears Mademoiselle Olsen may be the last person to see Ratchet alive. Madame, please tell me about last night.
The murderer was right here in my compartment. I woke up. All in the dark it was. I was just so scared I couldn't scream. I pressed the call button. I pressed and pressed. I heard footsteps running in the corridor, then a knock on my door. "Come in," I screamed. And I switched on the lights at the same time. And would you believe it? There wasn't a soul there.
You think he went back into the other compartment?
How do I know where he went? I had my eyes shut tight. The conductor came in. I told the man what had happened, and he didn't seem to believe me. I asked him to search the room, but he found nothing. I told the conductor to look at the door between the compartments, and sure enough, it wasn't bolted. Well, I soon saw to that. I told him to bolt it, then and there.
I have not finished inspecting your room. If you don't mind,
No dobře. No tady něco je. Takhle.
let's see if Mrs. Robard was telling the truth about the latch of the connecting door.
Takhle.
This hook is probably where Mrs. Robard hung her toiletry bag. can see the latch very well from here, even with the toiletry bag attached. I'll have to clear that up with Mrs. O'Bowd.
Keca.
Mrs. O'Bowd, you told me that the door connecting the two compartments was closed, correct?
No?
Yes, it was, as I told you. I was already in bed and my toiletry bag was hanging on the hook of the door. I couldn't see the latch from where I was. That's why I asked Miss Olsen to check if it was closed.
No, prostě, dobře. Může být.
Are you sure everything you've told me is accurate, Madame O'Bowd?
Of course. I have an excellent memory.
Mrs. O'Bowd, I tested putting your toiletry bag on the door hook as you told me. From your bed, you can easily see the latch on the door. The toiletry bag does not hide the latch at all.
Are you saying I'm lying? It may have been stuck somehow in a different position, or I may not have seen it in the darkness. Or I didn't think to look, you irritating man.
Details matter, madame. A man has been most savagely murdered. You will excuse me if I attempt to separate the truth from the false.
Forget my toiletry bag and focus on who entered my compartment. Probably after killing Mr. Ratchet.
Madame O'Bowd is a force to be reckoned with, but I suspect I'm not done with her. Thank you for your assistance, madame.
Co čím? Já jsem šel vyhnout. Pana míču. Všecko?
While Monsieur Michel was chatting with Monsieur Fauchet in the bar car between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m., the murderer could have escaped Ratchet's room without being seen.
That's the right answer.
Very well, I choose to go this way.
Ale ty proč ne? Víš, to může být taky.
This direction looks promising.
Uvidíme. To vznikne potom. To už jsem vyslychal, ne?
I found a button from an Orient Express staff jacket. Did you lose one by any chance?
No, monsieur. As you can see, I have all my buttons. It is not mine.
Dobře, takže tam ještě někdo. Dobře. Teď konečně mám vyslechnout. Komorníka a tajemníka. Ti jsou kde? Počkej, tady někdo. Byla tam mapa těch lidí. Tady. To, ano, to je 102, 103. 102 a 103. No, to je na konci. 102 a 103. Musíš už pauzu. Tak, běhnu. Takže. Jo, já to přímo vyjdu. Jsem drzý.
Monsieur Edward Masterman, I believe. May I ask you some questions?
I can barely talk. I have a terrible toothache.
We have a doctor on board the train. Perhaps...
I do not need a doctor. I use essential oils. If you can find my flask of clove oil in my box, I would be grateful.
Fine, if you insist. I will help you. By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy.
Jaký jsi to chtěl? Řebíčko. 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 Domluvu to. Ano. To je čané.
By the smell, I think that the jojoba oil spilled on the other bottles, leaving their labels illegible. I must find another way to find which one is Masterman's toothache remedy. The weighing scale is soaked in jojoba oil. It's unusable. Ah, this old scale will do the job. To start, I must first arrange the vials from the lightest to the heaviest.
To mě těší. Tato je těžší jak tato. Tato je těžší. Není. Počkej, špatně. To jsou kokot. Tato je těžší. Tato je těžší. Tato je těžší. To je těžší. To je těžší. Takže tato by měla být těžší jak tato. Je tak? Ano. Znamená, že tato by měla být lehčí. Ne, toto je těžší. Tato je těžší. To jsou jeblí. Tato je těžší jak tato. Tato je těžší jak tato. Tato je těžší jak tato. Dobře. Tato je těžší jak tato.
Now that I know the order, I think that I can easily guess which one is the clove oil.
Tento není. Tato nejtěžší. Tato je druhá nejtěžší. Třetí, tak to mělo víc.
I don't think this is the remedy.
No tento.
Here is Monsieur
Však.
Masterman's remedy. Here is your remedy. I hope it will help.
Thank you very much, sir. Ah, well, I can finally speak without too much pain. I'm ready to answer your questions.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's valet?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Were you told that your employer was murdered?
Yes, sir. A very shocking occurrence.
Oh,
I'm right again. That happens to me.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, sir. I have a cigarette now and then to relax.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No, he finds smokers disgusting.
Tell me about your employer, Monsieur Ratchet.
I've been working for him for 9 months. I should not wish to speak ill of the dead, but he was not a gentleman, sir.
Did you know that he had enemies?
Yes, sir. I heard him discussing some threatening letters, sir, with Mr. McQueen.
Did he mention these letters to you?
He had been reading a letter when I came in. He asked me if I was the one who put it in his compartment. I told him that I had done no such thing, and he should report it to the police at the next station.
How did he respond?
He laughed, sir.
You're joking.
oh.
I do not joke, sir.
Forgive me, I can see you do not. Was he taking sleeping pills?
Always when traveling by train, sir. He said he couldn't sleep otherwise. Last night he asked me to give him 2. I did so, along with a glass of water. He dissolved them in the water.
Did you see him drink the water?
No, sir. I left right after I gave him the pills.
At what hour did you last see Monsieur Ratchet?
It must have been around 9 p.m., sir. That or a little after. I went to bed around 10:30 p.m., same as the person who shares my room, Mr. Foscarelli. He almost immediately began snoring.
What did you do then?
I read, sir, and I spent a while soothing my toothache with clove oil and listening to the snoring.
Did you hear anything during the night?
Yes, my roommate's snoring.
Can you tell me again why you gave sleeping pills to Monsieur Ratchet?
Yes, I gave him the pills because when he takes the train, he has trouble sleeping. The letter must have worried him. He specifically asked me to prepare the sleeping pills. I didn't see him drink the water with the pills in it.
No to když se tomu smál, tak vlastně neznepokojil.
I need some hard evidence to prove he's lying.
Monsieur, I believe you are not telling me the truth.
What? How can you say that?
Too vocal.
We heard Monsieur Ratchet call out during the night around 20 to 1. It's doubtful he called out after he took the sleeping pills, but it's possible he took them later.
He asked me to make his drink for him. Maybe he drank it later.
That's true, but it doesn't explain why Ratchet would want to take sleeping pills later that night.
He received threatening letters. One, it seems, last night. Did you know he had a gun under his pillow? And even asked for my help to watch over him? I find it strange that he asked you for sleeping pills when he was afraid for his life and prepared to defend himself.
I'm sure I don't know. Maybe to calm his nerves, maybe out of habit.
It makes no sense.
Wait, please. Isn't it possible that Mr. Ratchet asked me to prepare the pills, but didn't plan to drink them for some reason?
It is possible. But I am a student of character, monsieur, and the Monsieur Ratchet you describe is not the man I met.
If you'll excuse me, my toothache is getting worse again.
I'm afraid this time you must prepare your own clove oil.
Nikt nie lubi medvědy.
I believe I am addressing Monsieur Hector McQueen.
Guilty as charged.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, sorry. Just an expression. My father used to say it.
You must have had an interesting childhood. I am Hercule Poirot.
No need to be modest. You're a detective.
You are Monsieur Ratchet's secretary?
I am Mr. Ratchet's secretary. Just over a year. I mainly take care of translating certain texts for him. Mr. Ratchet only speaks English.
Prepare yourself for a shock. Your employer,
Počkej,
Monsieur Ratchet,
on odpovídal
is
francouzsky
dead.
a
So they got him after all.
What do you mean? You
no,
are
my naučil
assuming
jsem
he
se
was
anglicky.
murdered?
I know he had enemies.
Are you a smoker?
Yes, I smoke cigarettes. I've tried to quit, but no luck.
I found a diary in Monsieur Ratchet's safe. Did you know about it?
I took a business appointment book, but I know he had a personal diary as well. That looks like it.
What can you tell me about Monsieur Ratchet?
He was American. He was an antiques dealer. I don't know much more. Mr. Ratchet never talked about himself or his life, but I think Ratchet wasn't his real name. And he left the United States to run away from something, or someone.
Yes?
He started getting letters, threatening letters.
Do you still have them?
I have one.
Did you know that Monsieur Ratchet had asked for my help?
Asked you? No, I didn't know.
He knew he was in danger. When did you last see him?
Last night around 10 o'clock, I should say.
Did you like your employer, Monsieur McQueen?
No, I did not. He was, I'm sure, a cruel and dangerous man.
Was Monsieur Ratchet a smoker?
No, he hated the smell of smoke.
Can you give me this letter, please?
Of course, here it is.
Can you tell me your movements last night?
I went back to my compartment. I read a little. In Belgrade, I went out onto the platform to smoke, but it was cold. I quickly went back in. I then went to Mr. Ratchet's compartment to take some dictation for him. I left around 10 o'clock. I saw Captain Arbuthnot. We ended up chatting in my compartment. Then we went out on the platform to quickly stretch our legs at Binkovsky. He left around 2 o'clock.
Thank you.
I will need to check Monsieur McQueen's story with Captain Arbuthnot.
No, právě.
The murderer may have impersonated Ratchet by calling Monsieur Michel to make it seem that Ratchet was still alive at 12:37 a.m.
That's the right answer.
Počkej, aspoň je rozpokoj řečené, koukaj zastřelí ho. Obroti našeho hlavu. Poprvé kravina.
My little gray cells did not let me down.
Tady je plán masterování.
This appears to be a good lead.
Co myslím, že je?
Very well, I choose to go this way.
No dobře. Ale jak jsem se trefil.
So, my friend, have you found our killer?
Not yet, but I will tell you what I have learned.
Please.
Our assassin could have gotten on the train at Vinkovsky disguised as a conductor, entered Ratchet's room and killed him. Then he walked out through Madame Hubbard's connecting door, where he lost a button from his jacket. He had to wait for Monsieur Michel to be absent. He waited too long. The train had left the station.
He was trapped aboard.
Indeed. He had opened the window to make it look that he'd escaped that way. However, if he waited until the train stopped again due to snow, his footprints would have been found.
The murderer is still among us, on the train.
There's a problem with the second-class toilets.
What now?
All morning passengers have been complaining that the door is locked, so I went to check. I knocked, but no one answered. I didn't think I should open it without speaking to you first.
You did well, Monsieur Michel.
Proč se tam díval celý zlíky?
I used my master key.
But who is she? Is she alive?
She is breathing.
Then if she isn't dead, isn't she our murderer?
That, my friend, is what we must find out. Miss, can you hear me? She's breathing. Her pulse is strong. There is no sign of physical violence. This woman is sleeping very soundly.
The ticket reads Joanna Locke, traveling in compartment 105.
This woman is sound asleep. Given her location, I would say she has been drugged and deposited here.
Well, at least it's not another murder on my train.
The train is, of course, full.
Monsieur, the list I gave you indicates that Hildegard Schmidt shares her compartment.
I will want to talk to her later. For now, we will concentrate on this mysterious young lady. Let's return her to her more comfortable bed.
Good idea. Pierre, locate this woman's room and fetch the doctor.
Yes, sir.
I will question her when she wakes up.
Please, let me know what you learn.
No.
Mademoiselle Locke's compartment is 105. I suggest we return her to her more comfortable bed.
Yes, hopefully she will awaken soon.
A cup of tea with white residue at the bottom.
Mhm. Kofra. Oh. Ale.
A briefcase and a wagon lit conductor's jacket. And the button is missing.
Mhm. To nejenom toto? Ne. Nějaké vodítko? Co najdu? Co jsem udělal? No, co zase? Aha, což mi to je řekne přesně. Oh.
Have you tried 1, 2, 3, 4? Poirot, what if the briefcase is booby-trapped? Poirot, I'm disappointed in you. I was certain you would have it by now. We really need to find the combination. If you need a break, I can ask Jean to make you some coffee. But of course you know what you're doing. It is booby-trapped, is it? So, Poirot, any luck so far? Have you tried 0000?
Book. Silent like a mouse, please.
I'm sorry. You're right. I'll be quiet now. You need to concentrate. I will not utter another word. Not one.
Book. There will be another murder on the Orient Express in a moment.
Ale jak to kufří? Vidíte tak? Viděl cvak? Zapomněl to číslo. Ale nie to fotka
The
toho.
stuffed animal is the same as in the photo found at the crime scene.
What a coincidence.
Mademoiselle Locke appears to have been investigating Monsieur Ratchet.
Mademoiselle Locke seems very interested in our victim.
Of course. She has studied her target.
Possibly. Her driver's license confirms her identity. She is American.
These are fake IDs. It's certain.
She has a gun.
Come, Poirot. Criminals are often known to carry one.
Ratchet was stabbed, not shot.
But then why take it on the train?
This badge says that Joanna Locke is an American detective with the Berkshire Police Department in Massachusetts.
An American police officer? Oh. Look, she's waking up.
Thanks to you, I would not be surprised if our murder victim were also waking up.
What?
To vtipné. Co?
Oh, my head.
What's all the yelling about?
Who are you? Give me a good reason why you should not be in handcuffs.
I can give you a reason, Book. Whose handcuffs will we use? I have none. Do you?
Well, I...
Mhm.
You are Joanna Locke, mademoiselle?
Yes, Joanna Locke. I'm a detective. Berkshire, Massachusetts Police.
I have found your credentials, mademoiselle.
And I know who you are, Mr. Poirot.
Then, if the introductions are complete, perhaps the explanations may begin.
I'll try. It's simple, really. I'm on the trail of a murderer.
To v knize nebylo, ale...
I had just been promoted to detective after 5 years on patrol. It was my first time on a major case. It had been a month since Daisy Armstrong was kidnapped. The Armstrongs were desperate for some sign of hope. I was there only for paperwork, to fill in some blanks. A topographical map, often more important than a road map in these mountains. A topographical map. I should go through the case file one more time.
Tady je. Hm.
The crime was audacious. How could the kidnapper know which was the window of Daisy's room? No, they could use a ladder to reach it, and no, they could enter the room without being seen. The misspellings are clearly on purpose, and they didn't return the child when the ransom was paid.
Lidi, co neznám, jo, všichni to znají.
How could the child be taken with so many people in the house?
Půl 11.
I can't imagine the pain her parents felt when they realized Daisy was gone. How are they going to feel when they realize I have no answers for them? Only more questions. That's why I'm here. A damn computer glitch. Or somebody pushed delete instead of save. Whatever happened, we lost the nanny's deposition. So my entire contribution to the investigation is to take it again. The phone record of the night of the kidnapping. The last call was for 911.
další postavu. No. Nic. No. No. Tady je. Jdem. Hm?
Good evening. Colonel Armstrong?
Yes. You're the detective they phoned about.
Joanna Locke.
I don't remember you.
I'm newly assigned to the case.
It's about time more detectives were involved. My wife, Sonia, she hasn't been herself. Every day is a waking nightmare for us. Tell me you've uncovered something new.
I'm here to speak to your daughter's nanny. There was a computer problem. Her earlier statement has been lost.
Oh, I see. We had hoped. Well, do as you wish. I won't be far if you need me.
Mám jít. Tady ne. Tady ne.
What a dear child.
No.
The world through the eyes of a child seems so sweet.
Mrs. Armstrong, my name is Joanna Locke. I'm a detective investigating the kidnapping of your daughter. May I talk to you? When is your baby due? Mrs. Armstrong? Sonia?
I don't want to talk. I just want to see my daughter again. That's all that matters.
The poor woman. I can't imagine how she... The detective gets it right.
Mm-hmm.
A toy castle. When I was a kid, I had a police station and a tiny squad car with a siren that really worked.
Ooh.
Mrs. Armstrong? Let me show you this.
Daisy, my little Daisy. I miss her so much. How good it is to see her face.
I can't imagine the pain you're feeling right now.
She loved her little stuffed animal, Fluffy. She took him everywhere with her. The kidnappers took it as well. They didn't have to. That means they wouldn't hurt her, doesn't it?
Every lead will be followed up. You have my word on that.
Thank you. I shouldn't lose hope. Somehow.
I know it isn't my case, but I just made a promise, and I mean to keep it.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
She's in her room. Last door on the left.
May I come back? If I have more questions?
Of course. Anything I can do.
To jsou poslední dveře nalevo, ne? Říkala nalevo, ne?
A toy train. Now here I am on a real one. Lyon, in France. What a lovely looking city.
Je, kočka.
Hello, are you Suzanne Moreau, Daisy's nanny?
Yes?
I'm Joanna Locke, a detective working on Daisy's case.
Is there any news?
I'm afraid not.
How can I help you?
I'm really sorry. I'm afraid I have to take your statement again concerning the evening of Daisy's disappearance. There was a computer problem. Your statement was accidentally deleted.
Of course. I want to help any way I can.
Tell me about that night in your own words.
The Armstrongs had a party to raise money for a museum, I think. Mrs. Armstrong is on their board. I was in charge of Daisy. I stayed with the little one all evening, playing with her and reading books to her. She couldn't sleep with all the noise and the comings and goings.
When did you notice Daisy was missing?
I was only gone 5 minutes to phone my mother. She's in the hospital. When I returned, Daisy wasn't in her bed. I thought she might have gone to look at the party, but then I saw the ransom note on her pillow. I screamed and screamed. I couldn't stop.
Did you notice anything unusual before that?
I was with Daisy all evening. Finally, she fell asleep. I didn't see anyone else or notice anything in particular.
Do you have any idea who did this?
No! I can't see who could have done such a horrible thing. The Armstrongs are such good people. Like my own family.
Thank you for giving me your statement again. I'll get back to you if I have any questions.
I won't be far.
Okay, I have Suzanne's statement, but her answers need some checking. This information does not correspond to what Suzanne told me. Suzanne said she left Daisy alone for 5 minutes, but Mrs. Armstrong says she stayed with Daisy for a while and Suzanne did not return. That's it. No rookie mistake there.
Co já mám udělat? Jsem.
Tell me about the night Daisy was taken, especially anything about your daughter and Suzanne Moreau.
Apart from seeing to our guests, I took a moment to check on Suzanne and Daisy in Daisy's room. Suzanne wasn't there, but Daisy was asleep. I sat with her for 10 minutes or so. Suzanne didn't return while I was there, but there's no reason for her to sit there all night when Daisy is asleep. I went back downstairs.
Okay, the story is Sonia and... That is not exactly what Suzanne told me earlier. Suzanne was on the phone more than 5 minutes. Score. 1 for the good guys.
If I understand you correctly, you left Daisy when she was not asleep?
The party was very loud. Daisy was too wound up to sleep. I read her a Motley Mule detective story to try and put her to sleep. Daisy finally fell asleep. Right before Motley Mule solved his case in the book I was reading her. I had to make a quick phone call. No more than 5 minutes. But when I came back, Daisy was gone.
Are you sure you were only gone for 5 minutes?
5, 6, what does it matter? It was very quick.
You say you were only away 5 or 6 minutes, but Mrs. Armstrong says she was alone there more like 10 minutes. And the phone record shows that you stayed on the call for more than 30 minutes, way longer than you said.
My mother is extremely ill. It's difficult for me. I may have lost track of time. When I came back, Daisy had disappeared. It must have been a coincidence.
You have to be precise, Suzanne. A little girl's life is at stake.
Why are you doing this? I didn't do anything wrong. I would never hurt Daisy.
I need to check Suzanne's story. She's panicking. Why now? What is she afraid of?
Docela 40.
That is a great detective job.
The number you have called is not in service at this time. Please hang up and dial again, or contact your service provider.
The number Suzanne called is not in service? A hospital?
For you.
Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake.
Počkej. No, končím.
No, this isn't it. Think! Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all. The kidnapper places a ladder under the window to Daisy's room. Then he joins the party, just one guest in the crowd. He somehow knows when Suzanne leaves the room, then sneaks upstairs. He opens Daisy's window, carries her down the ladder, and vanishes.
Son? Look.
I spoke with Suzanne. She was phoning her mother. That's why you didn't see her when you went to check on Daisy.
Yes, her mother. I tried to call the poor woman earlier that week, but the hospital said she's been in a medically induced coma for more than 2 months.
Suzanne told me she called her mother, but she would have known her mother was in a coma.
Se nearly.
Ms. Moreau told me she called her mother.
Well, why not? I believe they are very close, and the poor woman is not well. She needs some experimental treatment that isn't available yet in France.
Did you see Miss Moreau during the party?
I remember seeing her at some point, but otherwise no. I was too busy with my guests. Wear the smile, shake the proffered hand.
Do you know where I can find Miss Moreau?
Her room is upstairs across the hall from Daisy's. She seldom leaves it.
How are you doing? Are you holding up?
You know, in the military, you're supposed to have the stiffest of upper lips. The Desert War taught me that soon enough. But this, it's difficult. Damned difficult. Harder on my good lady, of course.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
To vyplývá. Co mám dělat? Můžu chytit, střelit?
You told me you were on the phone with your mother when Daisy was abducted.
As we said earlier, I didn't pay attention and was on the phone longer than I said. But since my mother is very ill, she had to leave her hometown, Lyon, because the treatment is not approved yet in France. She is in an hospital in Boston for a special treatment. I call her every night to check on her. When I came back, Daisy was gone. I'll never forgive myself.
Are you sure you called your mother?
Yes, every night since she was admitted in December.
Suzanne, I think you really care for Daisy. If you do, then tell me the truth. You can't have been calling your mother while she's in a coma.
My mom really is in a hospital in Boston. She really is in a coma. I wasn't calling her. I was on the phone with my boyfriend, Noah.
Why lie about it? Why are you panicking?
Because he's gone. I haven't heard from him since the night of the kidnapping. I'm afraid he's somehow connected to Daisy's disappearance. That he was just using me somehow. But I swear I talked to him. Yes, for more like 30 minutes that night. So he couldn't have kidnapped Daisy at the same time we were talking.
But he could have kept you talking so someone else could take Daisy.
Yes, you can see why I lied. Can't you? I was afraid you'd suspect me of having something to do with it. You can understand that, can't you?
Suzanne, I want to believe you, but you've made it harder to find Daisy. Do you realize that?
Oh my god. What have I done?
What's most important is not what you've done, but what you do now. Go. I'll be back to talk to you. No more lies, Suzanne. For Daisy, no more lies. Noah. The name might lead us to that little girl. I am on this case now, whether my captain wants me to be or not.
No dobrá. Je tady.
A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets. A locked diary? Let's see if I can shine some light on its secrets.
Můžu se najít klíček.
A A card from the florist. It's signed N. What's in the glass case? Ah, big surprise. Glasses.
Tak to bylo překvapivý.
Huh.
Vidíš, to jsem četl.
An Eiffel Tower keychain, but no key. I expect Suzanne must have gone through a lot of tissues these past weeks. Small jewelry box. By the size, I'm guessing earrings. Why put a key in a jewelry box?
Co bych ho tam někdo... Nedosledně by se nás díval. Tak, kde je? Tady je ta kniha. Typ. Tady jsem šťárat. Jdu se v tom šťárat. Schválně. Co tam bude? No tak to otevří, ne? Ježišmarja.
That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay, Suzanne. Let's see what you haven't told me.
Přesně. Simiska.
I can see why Suzanne didn't tell me everything about this, Noah. It's clear when he disappeared that she realized something was very wrong.
No, co teď mám dělat? Ještě něco? Nechci.
Their fairy tale became a nightmare. The number you called that night is no longer in service.
I don't understand. That's the number the hospital gave me to call my mother's room.
I imagine these flowers must have been beautiful. Who gave them to you?
The gardener. They're getting pretty wilted, but I hate to throw them away.
Tell me about your boyfriend. Have you been together long?
My boyfriend? Why? He doesn't have anything to do with this.
Please, Suzanne, the sooner you answer my question,
Teď jsi mi
the
řekla, že
sooner
jo,
we'll be
tak co?
done.
His name is Noah Garrity. I met him at a Lunar New Year party in Great Barrington. He is a kind and caring person, although, well, I miss him. He had to go away on business. He should be back.
Kecáš.
Sympathy and support for the Armstrong family during this difficult time. Thoughtful, but never enough.
Know anything about Miss Moreau's boyfriend?
Her boyfriend? I know she went out with someone for a while there. More recently, I saw a man in a 4x4 who would pick her up on her nights off. He never got out of his car, just waited for her. She did seem to spend more time than usual on the phone these past few weeks, but she worked hard. We weren't going to begrudge her what free time she had. Since the abduction, she keeps pretty much to herself.
I won't be long.
Take whatever time you need.
These tire tracks could well be from Suzanne's boyfriend's 4x4.
Co
The detective gets it right.
Kdy to vím?
Tread marks of a four-wheel drive vehicle were found outside the garden on the night of the kidnapping. Noah drives one, doesn't he? Where is he, Suzanne? If you know anything more about him, you have to tell me.
I know what you're thinking, but it's impossible. He was very nice to me. He never did anything to make me suspicious. We went out to eat, to the movies. Just like a normal couple. He's not the only man in the Berkshires who drives that kind of car.
I don't see anything that proves she's lying.
Toto.
You really didn't notice anything strange about Noah until he vanished?
Vlastně
Could get
psala v tom
moody
deníku.
at times, as if he had a lot on his mind.
In your diary, you say that Noah took you to a cabin in the mountains on Valentine's Day.
You read my diary?
I'm sorry, but we have to find Daisy. We both want that. So yes, I looked in your diary.
You're right. He took me to a cabin in the woods. I waited for him in the car. He came out after a few minutes. He was very sweet and apologetic, but he never explained. We went back to the restaurant for dessert.
Did you ever go back to the cabin with him?
No, never.
So what made Noah drive all the way to a cabin in the middle of nowhere? He left her in the car. Why was he there? This is important. I know it is. I can use Suzanne's directions to the cabin and compare them to the map of the area I have in my car.
Ježišmarja, že to bude jo. Nádhera. To bude nádhera. S tím vlastním. No to bude nádhera. Já hledat mapy, to bude prča.
Thanks to the information Suzanne gave me, I should be able to find the cabin on this map.
Kde je to město? V kterého města? Zprava, zleva?
That doesn't really match.
Je takhle.
That can't be the right place.
Počkej, to musím označit to město. Aha, počkej. Takže z města. A z kterého města? To asi z toho. Byly dva mosty, to bylo s tím lesem. druhé straně kupičné tohle. Kupičné tohle. Je, nezdá. Můžeme 12. Kdybych řekl 11. To nebylo ne.
Probably not here.
Kupičné tohle mohlo být tady. Já nevím.
That can't be the right place.
No. Byli z místa, nepřeli 12.
Probably not here.
Ne? Já už nevím, co náhoda. Abych viděl, co je město. Co to bude město? Celý 2 mosty. Jeden most, druhý most. Proč na hustý les, dobře? Město je.
That doesn't really match.
Dobrá, je. To napravuje tohle.
That can't be the right place.
Já nevím. Já budu typovat. Těžce. I nalevo.
Probably not here.
Furt les, říkám. Tady je.
That doesn't really match. Probably not here.
Tak, je
That
typovat.
can't be the right place. That doesn't really match.
Nic neodpovídá.
That can't be the right place. Probably not here. That doesn't really match. That can't be the right place. Probably not here.
Já jsme věděl, co je toto město.
That doesn't really. That can't be the. That can't. That doesn't really. Probably. That can't be the right place. Probably not here.
No, co je město? Toto je město? Proč jsme přes 12? Most druhý most.
I got it. The cabin has to be here. I have to
Toto
find
bylo
that
to město,
cabin.
tak kurně, až by mi to napsala.
I'm not too late.
Aspoň které město, vím, z kterého mám vycházet.
Okay, here is this famous cabin. Let's investigate.
Hello?
Halo, je tam někdo?
Is anyone there?
Pak co řekla?
Nobody. I can't just waltz in without a warrant.
Hello?
Nemůžu.
Nobody. I can't just waltz in without a warrant.
Udělat, že jsem
Noah
tam.
brought Suzanne to this dump on Valentine's Day? What a romantic. That barrel is sturdy enough. I could climb on it.
Tam je ten plišáček.
Empty wine bottles. Somebody has been here lately. Ugh, an old hunting trophy starting to molt.
No, to co
It's
se dělá?
Daisy's plush toy. If Fluffy is here, the kidnapper has been here. I have to get inside this cabin. The door is solid and the lock is new. The broom isn't sturdy enough to force the door. I have to find a way to open this door. The broom isn't sturdy enough to force the door. I'm not getting through this door by wishing it open. The broom isn't sturdy enough to force the door.
Oh, vzít. Už to mám vzít. Židlu?
Noah brought Suzanne to this dump on Valentine's Day? What a romantic.
Taky máme co to není. Co to je? Aha, knížeček.
A gold mustache. Thank you very much.
A, co to je?
A maul for splitting wood. Perfect for attacking doors.
To je někdo doma?
Look at that. A broken door to investigate. No need for a warrant. Some people seem to have played here before. Some boxes. I wonder what they were used for.
Máme krabice, no to nevím. Že by něco dávali?
A lot of tools. I guess somebody noticed the cabin was about to fall down. The stove is cold. Nobody's been here recently. The floor is scratched and worn in this area. The sofa must have been moved a lot.
To je něco pod tím.
That's a woman's hairbrush. Did Suzanne actually come in here after all? That's a woman's hairbrush. Did...
No. Pohnout s tím gaučem? A? Kde to? Kde to? No.
Damn, it's booby-trapped. If I move, it could go off, and that countdown tells me it wants to go off anyway.
No jo. Aha. To bylo to ty tyčka. Už to jo. Jo. Jo, co to rozhodně, co to znamená. Dobře. Tohle zblikající kontrolku. Takhle. Jinak nepochopil. Ty brďo, to je výmysl. Takže musím na ten pořadí. Okay. Dobré, co teď? Odsud sem do toho prostředí. Ups. Nazdar kofí, ahoj. To jsem nepochopil asi správně. Zadání.
Since I'm telling this story to you, Mr. Poirot, you should be able to deduce I didn't blow myself up. Let's see if I can remember how I defused the bomb.
Počkej, tento. Tady. No, sorry. Tu. A tu. Tu. Tady. Tady má. Sem. To je co? Tu. Tady má. Sem.
That should do it.
Oh,
wow, I wonder if that's how close it was. This would have ended my investigation right here. These rods are heading towards the canisters. It must be the trigger for the explosion. I smell a strong, sweet smell. Damn. I think these are filled to the brim with diethyl. Incredibly flammable. It looks like the kidnappers wanted to utterly
konečně
destroy
pochopil,
this
jak
place
to
and
autor
never
myslel,
open
víš?
this hatch.
Jsem to poprvé nepochopil, co mám dělat, víš?
I have to open it. Oh no.
To posledně jsem netypoval, že předtím mi to ukázal, že je to správně, a pak jsem nevěděl, co mám mačkat.
I called in my discovery of the body. Then there was nothing I could do except protect the site for forensics. The forensics team arrived an hour later.
Ale celku dobře, co ty? Pojedu potom pro švagrovlo pro děcka na vlak.
Any clues science can uncover. They removed Daisy's body. The autopsy would take place in the morning. But I had one more step.
Nedaří se ti obrazu, jo, je škoda. Co, tam jdu. Tu jsem. Jaj. Snad to dobře dopadne. Snad to stihneš všecko. Nebo je to v pohodě. Mhm. Tak to bylo.
That night, I swore to find the monster who killed that child. Ratchet on train saw me? How? Daisy.
She was awake?
And then she collapsed again.
I take the responsibility. She was weaker than I realized.
Oh.
Lie still while I examine you. Pupils dilated.
I'm all right.
No to ukáže teď.
You are far from all right. You have been heavily sedated. Your pulse is very weak.
I have to finish my story. Ratchet can't escape again. Can't escape.
Have no fear of that, mademoiselle. Ratchet will not escape.
We must hear her story.
This woman needs rest. I will let you know when she is recovered enough to continue. But I warn you, it will be some time.
I understand, Doctor. Thank you.
I have completed my preliminary examination of the deceased. I think that it will interest you.
Indeed it will. And I have other witnesses to interrogate. You are right. Let's not put this poor woman in danger. There will be plenty of time for her to finish her story when she has recovered. By all means, tell me the results of your examination.
No. To nevím. Ty kokso.
That was easy. Can you estimate the time of death?
Rigor mortis was advanced, but not complete. I estimate the death occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning.
That tallies with the witness statements I've collected so far. Mr. McQueen and Mr. Masterman told me that Monsieur Ratchet didn't smoke. Can you confirm this?
I can't say without a more extensive post-mortem.
What is the cause of death?
Multiple stab wounds to the upper torso. It's odd there are no signs of a struggle. That might indicate one of the first wounds was enough to kill him.
It seems that Monsieur Ratchet had taken sleeping pills during the night.
Ah, that would explain the lack of defensive wounds.
What can you tell me about the stab wounds?
I counted 12 in all. 1 or 2 are so slight as to be practically scratches. On the other hand, at least 3 would be capable of causing death. The angle of the wounds is instructive. Most appear to have been struck by a right-handed person. But you see, this one, under the right armpit, it's not a deadly blow given the depth, but a right-hander couldn't have done it. It was most certainly struck with the left hand.
So, our murderer is left-handed. No, it is more difficult than that, is it not?
As you say, Mr. Poirot, some of these other blows are just as obviously right-handed.
Do we have a first and second murderer, as the great Shakespeare would put it? The first murderer stabs his victim and exits left, turning off the light. Then a second murderer comes in the dark, does not see his or her work has been done, and stabs a dead body.
Magnificent.
You think so? I'm glad. It sounds to me a little like nonsense. Thank you, Doctor. Excellent work under difficult circumstances. Please let me know when I may speak again with Mademoiselle Locke.
Of course.
Even a smoker might innocently turn.
No dobra.
Those I've questioned.
Čo to jsem dělal doteď, tak já jsem myslel, že to nemusím dělat znovu.
Yes, I have personally seen some passengers smoking. I just have to remember who they were.
I suppose it's likely they will give me the list of who smokes what. My little grey cells did not let me down.
Dobře. No, celkem jo. No, počkej, mám spojovačku.
That's the right answer.
Dobra. Máme někoho? Dobře. Dobré, to máme. No. Tak si odběhnu. Odběhnu si zapálití, chytití. A co oni lidi? Je. Jo. Mám si asi nějaké pipa. A uvidíme. To se snad uložilo. Se vypíná. Hej.